Okay, what's good, people? Pete from PFM Fit here. Today, talking about philosophy. We were talking about training philosophy the last video, but today we're going to be talking about regular philosophy. And it's kind of an analogy of sorts that I have been pondering lately, and that is the crab in a bucket metaphor. So basically, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, you took a bunch of crabs and put them in a bucket, as if you just caught a bunch of crabs. Those crabs are going to do everything in their power to prevent other crabs from escaping the bucket. Rather than working together and helping each other build some kind of crab ladder, the same way ants do, to help each other escape and help them all get free. If one tries to get free and crawl out of the bucket, the others drag him back down because misery loves company. So with that analogy, I did a little self-reflecting and realized that at times in my life, especially recently, I've been a crab in a bucket. In a way, not literally, of course, but only on Thursdays. But here's where I've been the crab in the bucket. I'm just getting to a point now where all the people I used to idolize or respect or look up to when I was a child, like professional athletes, like people on YouTube, like celebrities, anyone who was in a position that I'd obviously want to be in, famous, rich, good at a sport, whatever. It's super easy to look up to those guys when you're 10 or 15 years younger than them. And it makes sense. You should be looking up to those guys. They are where you'd want to be. But now I'm at a weird point where all those guys are retiring and the new generation and the new era of players and athletes is taking over, but they're all my age or younger. And I'm actually having trouble, honestly, coming to terms with that and not being a crab in a bucket. You look at Erling Haaland, if you guys know who that is. Erling freaking Haaland. Guy's a 6'4", freaking, I don't know, probably 200-pound beast. Maybe probably weighs less if he's, super fast. But guy's 23 years old. Guy's the same age as me, yet he's lighting it up in the Premier League. I probably score more goals than him, let's be honest. But I play pickup adult league, where the only person who keeps track of all the goals they score is me. So, he's scoring 50-plus goals a season in the English Premier League, pretty much the best league in the world, the most competitive league in the world, and winning UCLs and Premier League titles and trebles and golden boots and all that stuff. How could you not be a crab in a bucket? Well, it's easy to be the crab in the bucket, is my point. It's easy to be jealous. It's easy to be envious. And it's easy to just think, like that person's just there for whatever reason. They're lucky, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They got the better breaks that I didn't get. Oh, woe is me. It's easy to think that way. But it's actually harder if you look at it this way. Well, why did those guys get to that position? What propelled them there? What did they do that I didn't? What did they focus on at a younger age that put them in that position now that I didn't focus on at a young age that would have put me in that position? How could I focus on it now to maybe get to that position? Well, when it comes to becoming a professional soccer player, that ship may have sailed, unfortunately. But there are plenty of other things I can become a professional in that, don't require age or athleticism, perhaps, But either way, which is like the gym, it could become a professional, anything in the gym. But that's the beauty of it. But anyways, the point is to not be jealous or envious, rather analyze their process, be admirable, be ambitious about it, learn from them and apply what you can to yourself now. Because whatever they did most likely was not just handed to them on a platter, regardless of the fact that Erling Haaland's, dad was a professional player who used to play for Man City. Okay, I'm sure that played a role in Haaland becoming a professional soccer player. My dad wasn't a professional soccer player, but he was an electrician. And guess who has an electrical skill set? Me. So basically, you learn whatever your parents can teach you, for the most part. And if your parents are pro athletes, well, there's probably a good chance you might become a pro athlete. But most of us don't have pro athlete parents. Point still stands, though, of what we can learn from these people in terms of applying that long-term process or learning from what they did earlier on, and then we could potentially apply it either to the next generation or to ourselves going forward. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting topic, people. It's just, I myself am not even fully I have not even fully come to terms with this topic because I'm still struggling with it, which is why I wanted to make the video about it, talking about it, because just talking about it out loud kind of helps me conceptualize the just the whole concept. I don't know. That sounded weird, but either way, point is basically don't be jealous, don't be envious, don't be the crab in the bucket who instead of helping people out or seeing how they could help you escape the bucket as well, don't try and pull them down into the bucket with you. You want to rise up to be where they're at, because in the end of the day, I'm not going to drag these pro athletes down to being not a pro athlete with me. I need to elevate myself to get to the highest level I can, whatever level of success that means for me, and that's the best I can do. Because let's be real here. Do they want to be me? No. Do I want to be them? Yes. So how do I become as close to them as possible? Well, I already train as close to a professional athlete as I possibly can. I'm doing the ice baths. I'm, doing all the hard recovery. I try and eat as clean and as freaking pro-like as I can. Whatever that means. And I train freaking hard all the time. So, other than the skill level that I play at, I'm pretty much pro athlete. Other than the success level, I'm pretty much pro athlete. So as long as I can continue improving in my own life and continue improving my success levels, then the closer I become to being like those guys, which to me is just a satisfying outcome, which I want. It's desirable. I want to work towards that. But that's the key word, is working towards it. You don't just wake up one day and be exactly what you want to be. Life would be very boring and pointless at that point if everyone just was exactly what they wanted immediately from day one. There'd be no goals, there'd be no drive, there'd be nothing to work towards. So that's the thing. Look at people who are your age, who you may be jealous of or envious of at the moment because they took some steps and got their life together sooner than you did. And yeah, it's easy to be jealous of it, but it's actually a lot harder and more difficult to learn from them and then apply what you learn to yourself. But even though it's harder, it's better, because if you learn from them and if you apply it and if you start working towards becoming what they became, even though you're going to do it a little older and a little later than they did, you're still going to get there, which is awesome. It's like, okay, well, you watch your first ab workout video because you say you want a six pack, and the guy in the video has a really good six pack, and he does the workout super easily that you're following along, and you can barely keep up with the workout, and you're sore for a week, and you still don't have a six pack. But just because this guy made this six pack tutorial video and he already has abs, because he's been training abs for whatever years now, doesn't mean you can't get abs. You just got to put in those years. And then after a few years, you get your abs. Same goes with applying this to the gym and every other aspect, every other muscle group. Same with, sports. Same with career building, relationships, life. You don't just become best friends with someone in a week. You need to nurture that relationship. You need to build it. You need to have experiences with them and, be in difficult as well as, healthy situations with them to really see what they're made of, and if they're really a true friend or if they got your back or if they leave you in the dust or whatever. It's all part of the life. It's all part of the learning process. And it all just takes time, Another thing I learned from my bodybuilding phase is like, it's okay if things take time. It's okay if you spend a few weeks grinding out a lift to get stronger at it. And if you can't add 5 pounds, every single week or even every 2 weeks, if it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get that 5 pounds, that's okay, because you're adding a few reps every week. You're getting more technical at the lift. The weight is becoming lighter, as you're adding more reps and whatnot. So it just takes time. It all takes time. But rather than being naive and jealous and envious and pretending to be ignorant like you don't know how these people became successful, study how they became successful, learn from it, and then apply it to your own success in life. That's the main thing. Don't try and drag people down. Don't drag others down. If you see someone and you're admirable of the position that they're at, the success they've achieved, the outcomes that they've worked for in their life, don't be a crab in a bucket about it. I don't know an animal that actually does the opposite of the crab. I don't know the counter metaphor to the crab in the bucket, but essentially, don't drag that person down. Figure out how you can elevate yourself up. That's really the key, because, like I said, They probably don't want to be like you. You probably don't want to be like you where you're currently at. And you probably want to be more like them. So realistically, start trying to be like them, you know? Be yourself, of course, but in terms of the successful outcome, try and follow the steps they took and apply those steps for several years and see what you find. See if you become successful. And if you don't, well, maybe you did something wrong, or maybe, who knows, that person did just get lucky. You never know. That could be a part of it. I'm sure luck plays a little role in it, but at the end of the day, same thing with genetics, you know. Oh, I got bad genetics. I got, shit genetics for this, weak genetics for that muscle group. Okay, well, have you trained that muscle for 10 years consistently and progressive overload it the entire way? No. Okay, so once you train that muscle that is a weak point for 10 years, let me know if it's still a weak point and you got shitty genetics, or if you just didn't put in enough years training hard enough to actually overcome those shit genetics. You know, it's the same thing. But I can go all day with different, analogies and different directions of similar conundrums and whatnot to compare it to. But I'm just gonna call it right there. Crab in the bucket, people. You don't want to be one. You want to be whatever the opposite of that is. So yeah, aspire to be what the people you look up to are, and don't be jealous of it, basically. So that's gonna do it for today, people. It's been your boy Pete from PFM Fit. A little bit of philosophy-based video, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do, let me know how you found the channel. Drop a comment. If you found this little philosophy type episode interesting, and be sure to like and subscribe for more. So yeah, peace, everybody. See you.